Okay, good morning, buongiorno a tutti and welcome. Welcome to the OperaWine press conference, our 7th edition. Tom, can you believe it? It's our 7th edition. Jeez, I can't believe we're still here. Since 2012, we've been honored to have Wine Spectator, the best possible partner, to showcase Italian wine, as you know, OperaWine, at Vinitaly, but more importantly, not just at Vinitaly, but to the rest of the world. As you might have noted, our OperaWine campaign this year, our focus is very much United States. In fact, the original title of the press conference was, and I think only the Americans will get this, Make Italian Wine Great Again. My staff wasn't so keen, so hence you see that, the new title. So, despite our recent attention to Asia, you know, the past editions, it was all about China, China, China. The US has been and still is the #1 market for Italian wine. And it is with great pleasure that this edition has been dedicated to the US. I'd asked our staff, actually Enrico, 2 days ago, can you please do me a favor and do like a retrospective video of the past 6 years? Mind you, he just started a few months ago. So he said, where do I do this? How do I do this? And I said, as usual, figure it out. So this is what he's come up with. Let's roll the video. It's in Verona. This is the 6th edition we're doing it in Verona. First we were in the heart of town. Oh yes, the very first edition when I got heavily criticized for wearing a wedding gown, that I was getting married to Tom. And in the beginning, no one had a Twitter account, so we insisted, please tweet your best OperaWine tweet. So we've started with that. Now on page 76 of the catalog, there are all the Twitter handles for the most of you. Of course, we were the first one that's now Sting is all over the place, but let me remind you that he came here first at the press conference. And then we of course have the ribbon cutting ceremony. I have no idea who's coming to the ribbon cutting ceremony this year because I don't know if there is a government in Italy. I was so getting used to seeing Martina time and time again. And then of course the dynamic trio, Tom, Allison, and Bruce from the very, very get-go. So this is pretty much the, oh actually we also did Miss Vinitaly International, and of course the group photo in the end, it's very, very complicated. I think we finally fine-tuned it, and the staircase seems to be working for us more or less. And that is pretty much the OperaWine. We've done actually in the beginning the very much OperaWine in a very literal sense. Tom hated that year when we had all the AIDA construction in the middle of the tasting room, and he said, please do not do that again. We don't need Egyptians, we don't need pharaohs. So we have allowed more space and time for the tasting bit, and I think that pretty much worked out. We had, of course, I had 2 presidents, Mr. Riello and then Mr. Danese. Okay, so that's it. We are here at the prossimo. So I would like to now dovetail directly into Maurizio Danese. I don't know how, this is your 3rd edition of OperaWine? 3rd edition of OperaWine, so he has a few words to say. He will speak in Italian, and Giulia, where are you? Okay, Giulia's in the back. She'll be doing the translation.
Buongiorno a tutti e benvenuti. Un ringraziamento a tutti gli espositori per la loro presenza, agli amici di Wine Spectator per la consolidata collaborazione dell'unico evento promosso dalla prestigiosa testata fuori dai confini americani.
Good morning and welcome to OperaWine. I would like to thank all the exhibitors for being here today, as well as our friends at Wine Spectator, who have a consolidated collaboration with us.
Proprio gli Stati Uniti d'America quest'anno sono dedicati all'edizione di OperaWine e di Vinitaly.
To the United States, this edition of OperaWine is dedicated to.
Dal 2012 OperaWine, Finest Italian Wines 100 Great Producers, è l'Overtour di Vinitaly, la più grande manifestazione internazionale in termini di presenze di operatori esteri e di superficie espositiva dedicate al vino e ai distillati.
Since 2012, OperaWine Finest Italian Wines 100 Great Producers is Vinitaly's grand opening. Vinitaly is the largest international event in terms of foreign visitors and operators, and in terms of exhibition space dedicated to wines and spirits.
Wine Spectator, la prestigiosa rivista americana partner di Vinitaly per questa iniziativa, ha selezionato autonomamente 107 cantine rappresentative di tutte le regioni italiane, il meglio della produzione vinicola italiana secondo il palato americano.
The prestigious American magazine Wine Spectator, which is Vinitaly's partner for this initiative, independently selected 107 wineries representing all Italian regions, the best Italian wine production according to the American palate.
Gli Stati Uniti sono il primo paese di importazione per il vino italiano e si confermano la principale piazza della domanda mondiale. Nel 2017 le nostre esportazioni hanno raggiunto 1,6 miliardi di euro in valore, ma sono ancora interessanti le opportunità di crescita, soprattutto in alcuni stati della Confederazione meno esplorati. E da qui provengono molti importatori e buyer invitati nell'operazione di incoming al Vinitaly 2018.
The United States are the biggest Italian wine exporters and have been confirmed as the main market for global demand. In 2017, Italian exports reached 1.6 billion euros in value. Growth opportunities are still there nonetheless, particularly in the less explored states of the Confederation. And it is exactly from the states that many of the importers and buyers that are here today are coming from.
Un mercato dove le etichette italiane sono ben conosciute ed apprezzate, ma da presidiare costantemente con grande attenzione.
Italian labels are well known and much appreciated on the American market, which is one that has to be constantly monitored with great attention.
La frequentazione Vinitaly degli operatori USA è consolidata. Insieme a quelli provenienti dal Canada sono state più di 7.800 le presenze nordamericane nel 2017.
The attendance of US operators is consolidated together with the Canadian ones. And in 2017, at Vinitaly 2017, reached over 7,800.
Con Vinitaly inoltre mettiamo a disposizione la propria esperienza di promozione direttamente sui mercati e maggiore interesse per l'export enologico italiano, dagli USA alla Cina, dall'estremo oriente alla Russia.
Vinitaly 2018 also offers its experience in promoting markets of the greatest interest for Italian wine, the US, China, the Far East and Russia.
Attività che promuoviamo tramite Vinitaly International e la Vinitaly International Academy. Ad oggi abbiamo già formato ben 200 ambasciatori ed esperti di vino italiano da 23 nazioni che danno forza al nostro impegno a favore del settore enologico, così importante per l'economia e l'immagine del nostro paese.
We promote this to a number of activities managed by Vinitaly International and the Vinitaly International Academy. To date, the Vinitaly International Academy has already trained over 200 ambassadors and experts from 23 different countries. And all these activities give strength to our commitment to this sector, which is even more important for the economy and the image of the country.
Alla settima edizione, OperaWine è un evento consolidato di Vinitaly, che dal quartiere fieristico si è allargato, abbracciando l'intera città, anche con Vinitaly in the City in tutte le piazze della città.
At the 7th edition, OperaWine is Vinitaly's flagship event. It was born from Verona Fiere's fairgrounds and now is taking the entire city, together with Vinitaly and the City, the off-site showcase, and OperaWine.
E questa passerella glamour che si tiene alla Gran Guardia, dove Vinicoli è nato nel 1967, coniuga il business e il lifestyle italiano amato in tutto il mondo. Grazie e buona giornata a tutti.
With OperaWine, this glamorous show held at the Gran Guardia, exactly where Vinicoli was born in 1967. OperaWine combines business with the Italian lifestyle. Thank you and have a nice day.
Oh, okay, this is actually a slide holder. I do this every year, I don't know if you recall. I take all the producers and I do a cluster graph between their price and the points that they've received. It didn't come out very well today. Federico did this. I'm gonna have to fire him. He's just started. So we'll talk about that later. Let me get the next one. So I don't know if you guys have noticed the catalog this year. Do you guys like the catalog this year? Oh my God, thank you. A big hand to Daniela. Daniela, raise her hand. She's the art director. And Cynthia. We really wanted to keep this look and feel American. I think it looks great also for a selfie, anybody out there. I thank you very much. We did, of course, there is a mistake. Giacosa, I don't know if Mr. Giacosa is here or the family, please forgive us. There has been one tiny mistake. We put a nice label on it. So that's the thing. But now to the heart of the program today, Bruce and Allison have a special treat for us.
Thank you, Stevie. It's a pleasure and an honor to welcome you all here to the 7th edition of OperaWine. Wine Spectator is proud to partner with Italy to present Finest Italian Wines, 100 Great Producers. I'm Bruce Sanderson, Senior Editor at Wine Spectator, and this year marks my 25th anniversary with the magazine. During that time, I covered several European wine regions in France, Austria, and Germany. From 1996 until 2016, I was also tasting director, overseeing our tasting programs in New York, San Francisco, and later our Napa office. I'm currently responsible for Burgundy, and since 2010, I'm the lead taster for the wines of Piedmont and Tuscany.
I'm Alison Akis, Senior Editor and Tasting Director. I joined the publication in 2000, hired in fact by Bruce, to oversee our blind tastings in the New York office. More than 10 years ago, I became a taster myself, and today I review wines from Alsace and Champagne in France, and all of the Italian wine regions outside of Piedmont and Tuscany.
And we're with our colleague, Wine Spectator Executive Editor Tom Matthews. Tom, please stand. And in addition to the tasting this afternoon, all three of us will be attending Italy.
Together, on behalf of Marvin Shankin, our owner, editor, and publisher, we thank you for your support over the years.
Wine Spectator provides information to our readers in several different formats. According to independent research, our print edition reaches more than 3 million readers globally, making it the most widely read wine publication in the world.
In addition, our website, winespectator.com, serves about 1 million page views each week, and you can conveniently access more than 360,000 wine reviews via our Wine Ratings Plus app when you're on the go. I like to use it in a wine shop, at a restaurant, or at a tasting like this.
Twice a year, in the spring and fall, we showcase Italian coverage. We have our April 30th, 2018 issue here at OperaWine and Italy, including a cover story featuring the Bolgheri region in Tuscany. Pick up a copy and see for yourselves what we do.
The April 30th issue is just the latest in a long line of Wine Spectator articles and covers on Italian wine. For many years, Wine Spectator was produced in a newspaper format, and the first big headline about Italian wine was in October 1978. Italy's Chianti country, filled with history, hard labor, and fine wine.
Very quickly, Italian wine coverage became a regular part of Wine Spectator. An early cover article from 1984 explored the efforts of Italian winemakers to put their own stamp on bottlings of Chardonnay.
Other issues highlighted the people behind the wines, leaders in the Italian wine industry who helped to forge America's relationship with Italian wine.
In the 1980s, that included men like Ambrosio Folinari and brothers Bruno and Marcello Ciretto.
Today, we spotlight outstanding women in the wine world as well, such as Meralisa Algrini.
And some people have such an impact that we felt they needed more than one cover. This cover is of Piero Antinori in 1985. Fast forward to Piero in 1984, and here he is today, a Tuscan trailblazer, shown with the next generation, daughters Alvira, Allegra, and Alessia.
Angelo Gaia is another regular Wine Spectator cover model. Here's Angelo Gaia in 1989.
And here's Angelo Gaia more than 20 years later, in 2011.
And one more, Angelo Gaia. His first cover in 1985, shown with California's Robert Mondavi.
Our focus at Wine Spectator has always been the world of wine, but as the magazine grew over the years, it additionally developed into a lifestyle guide for people who love wine.
Italian culture and the interaction between the land, the people, the wine, and the food is a big part of that guide.
We write about Italian restaurants, recipes, and chefs.
We highlight the products, design, and creativity of Italy, whether it's glassware or spirits or cheese, and where to buy these items, whether at home or abroad.
And we tell our readers which cities, wine regions, and vacation destinations they should visit. Places like Florence, Lake Como, Tuscany, Piedmont, Sicily, and more. Some years we even bring the magazine cover to Italy. Just a few years ago, Trudy Styler and Sting spoke at this press conference with an impromptu performance by Sting.
Unfortunately, there's no Sting this year, but Bruce, Tom mentioned that you might be willing to do some singing?
Yes, go, Tom.
I'd be happy to, but we want you all to come back next year.
But the heart of Wine Spectator is always our critical reviews. Today at Wine Spectator, we review nearly 18,000 wines each year, all in blind tastings. We believe that tasting blind, without knowledge of the producer or the price, is the only way to avoid bias and to guarantee that each and every wine has a fair and equal opportunity to show its best.
It's the wines and wine regions that stand out in our blind tastings that we want to showcase in the magazine and on the cover. Since Wine Spectator started its annual Top 100 Wines of the Year list in 1988, 427 wines from Italy were selected among our most exciting wines of a given year, and 3 wines were chosen as our #1 wine of the year: Antinori's Solaya 1997 in the year 2000, the Ornellaia 1998 in 2001, and Casanova Danieri's 2001 Brunello di Montalcino Tenuta Nuova in 2006.
Nearly 40 years ago, Italian wine reviews were less than 5% of all the wines rated by the magazine's tasters. Over the years, the number has increased as our editors saw the growing quality and importance of Italian wine in the US marketplace and the world. In 2017, we reviewed over 16,000 wines from more than a dozen countries, and Italian wine reviews encompassed about 17%, surpassed only by France at 29% and California at 22%. We're committed to covering Italy in all its breadth and depth.
Our wine ratings provide the information we use to select the wineries that will participate today in OperaWine. Just like our wine ratings, we wanted to ensure our independence and integrity when we agreed to partner with Italy in creating this tasting of Italy's great wines. So we insisted that Wine Spectator would be solely responsible for selecting the wineries to participate. It insulates Italy from complaints or pressure, and Italy has always respected this principle.
So each year, it falls to Tom, Bruce, and myself to select 100 producers to represent finest Italian wine. It's not possible to say that these are the absolute best 100 producers from Italy, but we do believe that every participant makes outstanding wines, and that as a group, they represent the quality and diversity of Italian wines.
We chose the wines based on 2 goals. First, to testify to the extraordinary quality of Italian wines. And second, to showcase the exciting breadth of its wine regions, grapes, and style. Our principal criteria are wine quality, regional leadership, and historical significance.
As many of you know, each year our list changes, with new participants replacing some of the previous attendees, in addition to a few wineries returning after a hiatus of a year or two. This is our way of keeping the event fresh and of reflecting the vitality of the Italian wine industry.
Since the first edition of OperaWine in 2012, 170 different producers and wines have been selected. The 2018 edition includes 107 Italian wine producers who will represent all 20 Italian wine regions, bringing more than 60 Italian native grape varieties together in one single room. This is Wine Spectator's commitment to exploring and showcasing all of Italy's many regions as they continue to improve quality and interest.
This year, 10 producers are first-time participants. If you're here, please stand up when I say your name. Quintodecimo from Campania, Gravner from Friuli, Leone de Castris from Puglia, Fiori del Pisciotto, Pietro Dolce, and Serraglia from Sicily, Boscarelli and Tenuta di Tenoro from Tuscany, and Bortolotti and Macalan from Veneto. We congratulate these wineries on their achievements.
In addition, Dredona from Emilia-Romagna, Mameti Prevestini from Lombardy, Marchesi di Barolo and Pernotto from Piedmont, Tenuta San Leonardo from Trentino Alto Adige, and Nino Franco from Veneto, participants in previous editions, return for 2018. We hope you'll take the opportunity to discover these new wines, as well as revisit old friends at the tasting today.
We've seen a lot of changes in our Italian coverage since 1978. No doubt we'll continue to see changes to Italy's wines over time. One thing we do know for certain, Italian wine producers are talented, dedicated, and passionate. They respect tradition, show concern for the environment, adopt innovations, and never cease their efforts to improve their wine. We are very excited to be a witness to this ongoing evolution and proud to showcase the best part of it here at OperaWine tonight.
On behalf of Wine Spectator, we thank you for being part of the Italian wine community and for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And we thank these guys, seriously. This is the 7th edition. I think actually we started working with Spectator the year before that. Some of you may not know it, but Wine Spectator, they don't just do OperaWine with us. The 3 of them come every year. One, they go around visiting other wineries, tasting other wines, and then also they host seminars. Right now, they do 3 days of seminars, and they also have a face-to-face moment with series of producers. So thank you. We don't take it for granted, and although you think I do, Tom, but I don't. I appreciate you coming back every year to support the Italian wine, especially for the American market, which is the most important market, and we don't want to forget that. So thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce to Giovanni Mantovani, the CEO of Verona Fiera.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to OperaWine. OperaWine, as you know, is really a fantastic spot for the Italian wine in the world. But it is my honor to present today Miss Gina Gallo from Ernest and Giulio Gallo Winery. Gallo Winery wins the Vinitaly International Awards this year thanks to her we will be tasting her wines at the light lunch today. Thanks, Gina. Gallo Wineries has grown to become the largest family-owned winery in the world, to continue to be a leader in the global wine industry. This year, the Gallo Wineries wins the Vinitaly International Awards, a recognition not only to the biggest family-owned winery in the US, but also to the people who built its success. The Gallo brothers, Ernest and Giulio, were the living embodiment of the American dream. Sons of two Italian immigrants, they built an empire that brings American consumer closer to the wine market. We congratulate the Gallo family on these awards and appreciate their strong commitment to innovation and leadership in the wine industry. So, I would like to invite Miss Gina Gallo to come here and explain something about her wines. Thank you.
Grazie. Grazie. Well, and thank you, Wine Spectator. They do their homework. They know who to partner up with. Vinitaly, it's excellent. I'm very proud to be here. I'm very proud that Wine Spectator is here, and they've been here for 7 years. And I have one thing in common I just learned. A lady shouldn't say this, but I was born in '67 too. So, congratulations, Vinitaly. I'm truly honored. Our family, I'm half Italian. Unfortunately not 100%, but half. And my grandfather Giulio and my great uncle Ernest were celebrating our 85th anniversary this year. And they were from Piemonte, Fossicino. So not far from here, but in Piemonte. Their parents were born in Italy. So Italian has a great sentiment in my heart. We love Italian. We love the Italians. And as you heard greatly from Bruce and Signora, thank you. America loves Italy very much. It feels at home. There's something wonderful about the Italians and the Italian culture. And we feel close to it because of my family. And we're very grateful for it. We work with some amazing families and producers. Michele, who's here today, we work with his family, and Marilisa Allegrini, you're here too. Hello, Marilisa. And Renata. So, you know, it's, we're proud to represent the Italians in America. And you know what, we make wine, and we make a lot of different wine in California, but we're about the wine world, and that's the beauty of it. It's not just about our family wines, it's about the wines from the world. And here we're in Italy, so we're grateful in America to have some wonderful, wonderful Italian wines there. And I know the Americans greatly appreciate it as well. Today you're gonna see some of our family wines. We have a cuvee from Jay Sparkling, number 20. It's a non-vintage. I hope you enjoy that. We'll probably begin with that. Also McMurray Ranch, which is sentimental to my heart as well. Katie McMurray, her family, Fred McMurray, they purchased the McMurray Ranch. If you're ever out, please come. If you want to see a slice of America, it's definitely a slice of you feel like you're in the West.
They're all coming, you know that.
It's very, well, yes. So you can find me. I have a couple Facebook friends here, so it's great. But now with Facebook, we can find everybody. But the McMurray Ranch is lovely, and you have a Pinot Gris you'll be tasting from that particular ranch. We call it a ranch because it is a ranch. It used to have cattle on it before, Scottish Angus that were there. Now we have vineyards, but it's virgin in the vineyards, and the Pinot Gris is lovely. Also, Talbot, Cali, Chardonnay that you'll be tasting, and that's in the Santa Lucia area. I always say Santa Lucia. I think that's because of my Italian heritage, but properly it's the Santa Lucia. And then one of my personal ones that I create, Pinot Noir from Santa Lucia as well, that you'll be tasting today at lunch. I hope you enjoy that one. And then the Martini family. Louis and Martini was dear friends with my grandfather Giulio and my great uncle Ernest. And we were fortunate, after a few years, we ended up purchasing the Martini vineyard and winery. But what's important is it's not about us, it's about the Martini family and their heritage, their history. So we're keeping that wine alive. Monterosso, which is an absolute spectacular vineyard in Sonoma, actually. It's in Sonoma Valley. If you ever come, you'll have to see that. It's a well-known vineyard in that area. And you'll be tasting that Cabernet today. And last but not least, I think we have an Orange Swift wine, which was a new little acquisition that we have, a wonderful brand, the Orange Swift wines. They're very popular in California and in America, very hot with the young and up-and-coming wine drinkers. So hopefully you enjoy that one. They tend to be big, powerful, over-the-top wines, but they are adored as well. So with that, I would just like to say, you know, I'm honored. You mentioned my grandfather Julian, my great uncle Ernest. I make wine. I'm fortunate to make wine because my grandparents, they gave us an amazing foundation. They were two brothers, and I think what was interesting, very Italian background, but one was a farmer at heart, and one loved to travel, and one was a marketer at heart. And they really were a partner, a team. They respected each other. Did they beat heads? Did they hit heads? Were they hard heads? Probably, I'm sure. They had a lot of disagreements, but at the same time, I remember asking, you know, my uncle Ernest, and he said, you know, Gina, whenever we disagreed, we would shut the door, go home, go to our houses, sleep on it, and come back. And we never chose either one of them's answer to the problem, but they came to a greater solution. So they had tremendous respect in each other's different areas. And I get emotional because, as we all know, the one... but I miss him dearly, of course. And as we all know, the wine world is not an easy world. It's very tough out there. There's a lot of amazing wines, and there's a lot of people that are not enjoying wine. And why is that? So God bless Wine Spectator for helping us out there. I mean, we should enjoy wine every day, at least every day. It's good for our health. We know a lot of great things about wine. So I guess I'm emotional about them because I miss them, and emotional because I make wine, and I'm fortunate they gave us an amazing foundation. And today now, Joe and my father and my uncle Jim, and Joe, really, he is leading the reins of our family winery. He's the CEO, and he's doing an amazing job. But one thing that we're proud of is that we have our, you know, everyone has your ethics and your morals and your strict, how do you say it? You're disciplined. And that's why we're fortunate to work with some beautiful families here in Italy, because we're very similar to like minds. And the most important thing is that we're focused on the earth, sustainability, the land, and doing what we do to give to our children, passing it on to our children, and keeping our faith in that land, because the best thing we have is the dirt between and below our feet. And our family is very disciplined about that. The family wineries that we work with here in Italy are very disciplined about that. And then making the best wine we can, because we know all of you are doing great wine, and we know there's a lot of consumers that need to enjoy these great wines. So my hat goes off to that, and wanting to share those wines with the rest of the world, and bring in more people to our wine circle. So with that, as my great uncle Ernest always used to say, God bless him, Cent'anni, may we all live to be 100, and salute to all of you and all the wonderful wines and beautiful food. I know there's some amazing food producers here, because without great food, we have no great wine, and they go well and well together, always at the dinner table and always sharing stories. So God bless, and Cent'anni.
It's a good thing that she didn't want to talk. I'm never getting in the mic again. That's it, that's the last time. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. I think as often as we do, when we have a special guest, whether they're from China, and this year, I think Gina has been generous to not just share her wines with us, but also her story. And I'm sure she'll be available if you want some secret insights to the American wine market. I think she's available today, so generous. And mostly she's open now her house to everybody, so I'll give her her address later, okay? So I just want to close with one more thing. Can I get the next slide, please? So as you know, this is the day before Vinitaly, but we've started Vinitaly actually 8 days ago. And it started with, as with tradition, 5 days of Vinitaly International Academy. And we have some of the candidates and ambassadors here. Can you guys just stand up to make yourself known? Stand up, all the ambassadors and the experts. We have 2 experts, candidates. Some of them have gone home already. And of course, the scientific director is Ian D'Agata, as usual. This is the situation. I just wanted to give you a quick update with Ian. We have been, we've done 9 editions now. The 4th editions and 4 editions in Verona, and then 3 editions in China, Shanghai, Beijing, and Chengdu, and also San Francisco and New York. And this is the state of the art as of today. About 380, I believe, candidates have gone through the program, and to date we have 162 ambassadors and experts. So it's a great accomplishment. What do we do next? You guys have to keep tuned for that. So I just wanted to share that with you, as we do always as the tradition. The next slide, please. So OperaWine is also possible to Wine Spectator, Verona Fiere, of course, and everyone, all the team, the big team behind us, because I know that we're always center stage, but there's a huge team behind us. And of course, the sponsors. I'm going to read them so that I don't make any gaffes, as I usually do. Asiago, RCL, Levoni, Sulgiva, Electrolux, and Petrolux. For the press conference this year, we had a special sponsor, Unit Credit. And on behalf of Unit Credit, we have Mr. Musso, who will be speaking in Italian. Lui ha un messaggio per I produttori italiani, and translation, Julia, are you still here? And translated by Julia.
Grazie mille, buongiorno a tutti. È un vero piacere per me, in qualità di rappresentante di Unicredit, essere presente per poter celebrare con voi questo importante evento.
Good morning, everyone. It is a great pleasure for me as UniCredit representative to be here and celebrate such an important event.
È un evento importante per voi che rappresentate l'eccellenza riconosciuta della filiera del mondo vinicolo, composto da oltre 300.000 aziende agricole.
It is important to you, who are the worldwide recognized excellence of the Italian wine industry chain, represented by over 300,000 firms.
107 produttori selezionati dalla nostra rivista americana, 13 di questi di neocostituzione.
107 selected producer and 13 newly selected for the first time.
Una finestra sulla biodiversità italiana e sulla storia caleidoscopica del nostro vino, come rappresentato dalla presenza di aziende che vengono da tutto il territorio nazionale, alcune presenti da generazioni, altre di recente costituzione.
A window onto Italian biodiversity and the kaleidoscopic history of our wine, testified by the presence of producers that come from all over the Italian territory, some of them that have been operating for many years and others more recently.
È un evento importante anche per Unicredit perché la partnership con Fiera Verona, in particolare con Vinitaly, si consolida con la nostra presenza e il nostro sostegno ad OperaWine.
It is also an important occasion for us too, because Unicredit's historic partnership with Verona Fiere, and in particular with Vinitaly, becomes even stronger today thanks to the participation at OperaWine.
I numeri della filiera vinicola parlano da sole, 11 miliardi di fatturato che rappresentano l'8% del complessivo del food and beverage, una crescita del margine in progressivo aumento, il 6,2% nella media degli ultimi 5 anni, volumi che testimoniano l'Italia come al primo posto tra i produttori, coprendo il 20% dell'export mondiale.
The Italian wine industry results are impressive. For example, a turnover of more than 11 billions, which is basically 8% of the Italian turnover in food and beverage, in the food and beverage sector, with margins progressively increasing with an annual growth rate of 6.2%, a production volume that makes Italy the first wine producer in the world, representing 20% of global exports.
E la stessa eccellenza la troviamo anche nella qualità, testimoniata dalla produzione da vini DOC e IGP che rappresentano i 2/3 della produzione italiana e valgono il 90% dell'export complessivo, tanto da consentire all'Italia di avere un primato tra i prodotti certificati 543.
And the same excellence is testified also to the quality of the production, as indicated by the importance of PDO and PGI wines, which represent 2/3 of Italian production and 90% of total exports, which make Italy the first European country for certified products.
Gli Stati Uniti d'America rappresentano il primo mercato di sbocco per il paese Italia, un mercato in crescita da cui voi non potete prescindere e altrettanto noi come sostegno dal punto di vista bancario. Gli Stati Uniti sono il maggior consumatore di vino con 30 milioni di ettolitri e cubano il 17% dell'import globale.
The United States represents the first sales market for Italy. It's a growing market and it's essential for you as it is for us. It is the first consumer of wine in the world with over 30 million hectoliters and the first importer with a 70% market share.
E il nostro impegno è quello di accompagnarvi verso questo mercato. Unicredit con il suo networking internazionale, unico direi da questo punto di vista, leader in 14 paesi con 4.000 banche corrispondenti che ci consentono di essere operativi in 175 paesi e naturalmente negli Stati Uniti d'America.
And our commitment is to accompany you in this leading market. Unicredit has an international network and unique extensiveness. It is leader in 14 core markets with over 4,000 branches in 117 countries.
I feel like I have to do the translation here. Basically, if you guys need money, you go to Unicredit. That's it.
Yes, sure, of course. Fantastico. E Unicredit ambisce essere il vostro partner commerciale a 360 gradi per sostenere la crescita della vostra azienda, per sviluppare il vostro networking internazionale.
Unicredit longs to be your primary partner that can support you in all your business activities in order to strengthen your distribution network and identify new trading partners.
E la nostra presenza oggi è nella mattinata del 17 aprile, dove presenteremo il nostro Industry Book sul vino e l'offerta di Unicredit sono la testimonianza tangibile del nostro impegno accanto a voi, accanto alle imprese, accanto al mercato italiano. Grazie e buon OperaWine a tutti.
On the morning of the 17th of April, when we will be presenting our wine industry book and our solutions provided for the wine sector, is the tangible evidence of our commitment. Thank you and enjoy OperaWine.
So I think before I made a mistake. Is my thing on? Check. I forgot to mention Volkswagen. That's the main sponsor. They're going to kill me. So, Volkswagen, thank you very much. So this is a photo of last year. I think this was the most successful group photo op. I don't know about you, Tom. So we're going to repeat this just as last year. So I would like to ask the producers, one producer per, one person per producer, to just go down the stairs again. We do the group up, then we can enjoy Gina's wine and food and get money from Mr. Musa. Okay? All right. That's it.